A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another kind of graphic novel look today, so cheers. Today I'm going to be looking at Star Wars Legends, The Empire. This is Volume 1 in the Marvel Omnibus Empire Collection. And while there is a lot of content here, today I will only be looking at the first 6 issues that come in this book. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review of the first 6 stories, or maybe not the first 6 stories because some of them are two-parters. But as you probably know, the Legends moniker means that these stories are no longer canon in the Star Wars universe. And to that I say, I really don't give a fuck. If you enjoy the story, if it brings you pleasure, if it opens up a little bit more of the mythology of the dark side, of the light side of Star Wars itself, and you enjoy that, even if it's not canon, who really cares? It's a really, really good time. I am absolutely loving all of the stories I've read in this collection so far. I cannot wait to get into part 2 of this. I still have, as you can see, I still have a long way to go. There's my bookmark there. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, I just want to bring you the first 6 issues in this collection. So, if you don't want these issues spoiled, then by all means, just know that I'm having a really fucking good time with this, and I highly recommend it to everyone. I'm loving these omnibus editions. I think they're absolutely fantastic. If you do want the story spoiled, then stick around for the next episode of...
Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. People.
Okay, so this is Star Wars The Empire, Legends Omnibus Volume 1 by Marvel Comics. I'm a huge fan of these omnibus collections, as you are going to see more and more of this year as I read and record the issues and stories. You just get so much content, and yes, they are a little bit on the expensive side, but in my opinion, it is wholeheartedly worth it. Before I kind of begin, you might notice my throat is a little bit scratchy, still a little bit sick, but I just wanted to bring you the first part of this comic collection today, so please bear with me. And yes, I know I'm sick, but I still have some go-go juice to kind of get through it. There might be some weird edits as I have to pause and blow my nose and things like that, but let's get right into this. Okay. This is all of the issues that I will be reviewing. Up to here. So today I'll try and review as much of this as I can, but camera and YouTube, might not allow for that. Okay, we have the usual Star Wars scroll, The Empire Volume 1. Darkness has fallen on the galaxy. After 1,000 generations, the Galactic Republic is no more. The culmination of a plan masterminded by the evil Dark Lords of the Sith. In its place stands the Galactic Empire, ruled by the fearsome Emperor Palpatine. Yay! As a member of the Republic Senate, Palpatine secretly orchestrated the Sith Order's plans to crush its hated enemies, the Guardians of Peace known as the Jedi. Elected Supreme Chancellor, Palpatine ensured that war throughout the galaxy would lead the Senate to declare him head of the new Empire to replace a corrupted Republic. Oh, by the way, I should have started with spoiler alert in case you haven't seen the films. With the galaxy now ripe for conquest, the Emperor has become the most powerful Sith Lord of all and a master of the dark side of the Force, ordering the extermination of the Jedi Order with the aid of his apprentice, the deadly Darth Vader. Vader was once a young Jedi named Anakin Skywalker. What a twist! A hero of the Clone Wars, Convinced that he was destined for greatness, Anakin was manipulated by Palpatine into embracing his anger and fear and betraying the Jedi. In the process, losing his limbs and his love, Padme Amidala. His fall to the dark side complete, Anakin has become more machine than man, reborn as Darth Vader. As Emperor Palpatine continues to increase his power and hold over the galaxy through his ever-growing armies of stormtroopers and the building of massive weapons of war, Darth Vader embraces the only purpose left to his existence, serving the will of the Emperor, his master, but his hatred of the Jedi remains strong. Now, I do appreciate this kind of Star Wars scroll that they do at the beginning of every movie, but really, for a fan who's going to fork out money to buy this Omnibus edition, kind of not necessary. We already know this. Pardon me. Still really, really cool, though. So this is Star Wars Republic number 78, Loyalties. Okay, so this is basically the Emperor and Vader have called the Imperial captains together, and a few of them are kind of questioning what's going on. Of course, when you question the Emperor, that kind of never goes well. One of the captains is on Coruscant. At this point, we kind of know that he has been separated from his wife and son, and he is kind of going over in his mind everything the Empire stands for that he knows so far after Order 66, and he gets a kind of a knock at his door, and it's a friend who's saying, "I saw your name on a list. Vader," pardon me, under the authority of the Emperor, is kind of wiping out the dissidents, and your name was on the list, so you might want to run. So he thanks his friend and heads off into the underbelly of Coruscant. In the meantime, Vader catches up with his friend, and when the friend says, "I won't tell you anything," of course, Vader slaughters him. This guy goes to find some of his contacts to try and get off-world. Basically, he's like, "Hey, you owe me a favor." And in the meantime, Vader has hired some bounty hunters to track this guy down. We've got this Casey Jones-looking guy. We've got a Doug. Those of you that don't know what a Doug is, go and watch The Phantom Menace, and you will see Sebulba, an especially dangerous Doug. So the guy's going through the underbelly of Coruscant, fighting off these bounty hunters and whatnot. I mean, a Doug with two blades, that just looks awesome. I don't care who you are. And the Casey Jones guy is trying to kind of keep up with him. He meets another one of the bounty hunters. This dude that's trying to flee kills him. The Casey Jones guy basically takes him and says, "Get behind these crates." And the Casey Jones guy is in fact his son. And it turns out that his wife and his son have been looking for him this entire time. And they found him and they get him off world to start a new life. And that is the end of the issue. Okay. As far as this goes, thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the fact that it's this omnibus collection starts with nothing to do with Jedi or anything like that. It's just this Imperial captain who sees what the Empire has become and has decided, "I don't want any part of that," and goes on his merry way. Please excuse me. Oh, man. Okay. Really great first issue. Okay, next up we have Star Wars Republic 79, Into the Unknown, Part 1 of 2. So we get Order 66 happening. Order 66, for those of you that don't know, is one of the orders that was implanted in the clone troopers by the Emperor and the cloners of Kamino. And Order 66 is basically turn on your Jedi generals. And that's what happens. You see it rather beautifully filmed in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, but that's kind of the basics of it. So we're on Tula, this ice planet in the Outer Rim. And we have a Jedi Master and his Padawan apprentice escaping Order 66 and going on the run. At this point, the apprentice is kind of questioning the Master. Shouldn't we fight? Shouldn't we help? And the Master's just trying to keep them alive. It's a really good back and forth. We then move to New Plimto. New Plimto is a separatist world inhabited by a race known as the Nosorians. They kind of look like humanoid dinosaurs. Now, those of you that... There are people out there that kind of shit on some of the looks of the Star Wars aliens, and, you know, they're going to look at these Nosorians and go, well, they're just dinosaur people. Yeah, but answer me this. How fucking cool are dinosaur people? That can actually shoot light from their mouths. I mean, come on. So, we get this Jedi, Das Janier, who is on the run from the clone troopers he was leading. They've turned on him thanks to Order 66. And he runs into a Nosorian. And he convinces the Nosorian to keep quiet, even though he has actually been leading the clone troopers against the Nosorian race. And he helps the Nosorian escape, and the Nosorian helps him escape as well. We get back to the planet where the Jedi Master and his apprentice are trying to escape from. The Jedi Master is kind of going against his training. He's stealing fruit and things like that to just to get some food and whatnot. There is a raid on one of the cantinas that they're in. We then move back to Das Janier and this Nosorian who goes by the name of Bomo. And Bomo kind of explains to him, listen, you don't understand why we joined the Separatists. We had, they kind of exported eggs as their main source of the economy. They wanted to join the Republic. The Republic said no. The Separatists said, you can join us and we will sell your eggs for you. And then the Republic attacks this Separatist planet. So they are kind of a race that is caught in the middle of this Republic-Separatist war. They didn't want to be a part of it. They actually wanted to join the Republic. So Das realizes, pardon me, that he is in fact on the wrong side of this. And once he realizes that, he can admit it, and he's all the wiser for it. Bomo leads him to his village, and we have all the Nosorians going, thank God you brought us a Jedi, we can finally kill them. And that leads us into Star Wars Republic issue 80, Into the Unknown, part 2 of 2. Bomo convinces the village not to kill Das Janier, that he's in fact helping them. The village kind of comes to embrace him. He says he wants to help them. They talk about hearing that the Jedi have turned on the Empire, or the Republic, I should say. And Das says that's a lie, and it's all not true. The Jedi Master, back on Tulu, is trying to get off planet. His apprentice is like, I found this heating gear, we can warm our Jedi robes up. And the Master is like, are you fucking crazy? Like, seriously, they're looking for Jedi. And you want us to walk around in Jedi robes? You wear this slave shit, and I'm cutting your hair so you look like a boy. So they eventually manage to get off planet after, I think he does like a mind trick on the trooper or whatever. And they head back to Coruscant. Now, this is after the time in Revenge of the Sith where they sent out the beacon to all Jedi saying, if you're alive, do not come back to Coruscant. And this guy's like, well, fuck it, let's go back to Coruscant. So, smart move there. And he sees the Jedi Temple burning, and he's in a crowd of people. The apprentice wants to do something, and the master's like, no, just calm down. You don't have to do anything here. One of the hidden Jedi that is still on Coruscant decides, we've got to fight, and he kind of charges out of the group while the master stays his apprentice's hand and says, nope, don't do anything. And this guy is ultimately cut down after killing a few clone troopers. And in the crowd that have all just kind of walked away from this, the master spots Das Janir. Now, so this is basically, this happens before, well, no, this should be after Das Janir is with the Nosorians, but, you know, the timeline's a little iffy, but that's okay. And he basically tells the apprentice, the master tells the apprentice, listen, give me your lightsaber, you're not going to need it. You're not a Jedi, I'm not a Jedi, there's no more Jedi. You go and you fucking survive. And he sends her off and she's in tears. And then Das Janir comes to him and he's like, listen, you're not a Jedi anymore, I'm not a Jedi anymore. And Das Janir is like, well, I'm still going to fight because this is fucked. And the guy's like, well, I'm not. I'm going to go and become a gambler because I can manipulate shit with the Force. And then we go back to Das Janir on the Nosorian homeworld, and he's leading them into battle. And that is the end of this two-part story. Although, spoiler alert, this does come back in a later issue, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, we now go to Jedi Purge. Okay, so Star Wars Purge. We see a bunch of clone troopers, and they're hunting down a Jedi Master. We see him here. The Jedi Master ambushes them and takes them all out, where he is greeted by this woman who says, listen, you need to come with me. I'm gathering a group together on Kessel, and you're going to want to be there. At the same time, Darth Vader, obsessed with finding Obi-Wan Kenobi, is just killing people, trying to get a location for him. The clone troopers believe that they have gotten a location on Obi-Wan Kenobi, but the Emperor doesn't want him to go there. On Kessel, we have these Jedi Masters that have kind of gathered, and they are trying to formulate a plan how to deal with the Empire itself. And none of them can really agree on what they need to do. At this point, Vader, who has gotten that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be on Kessel, appears kind of demanding, but it turns out that it is a trap. He takes out some of the Jedi Masters, but ultimately Kenobi isn't there. As he's fighting them, they kind of manage to get the upper hand. And by get the upper hand, I mean they literally cut one of his fucking hands off. This Jedi Master is like, he has surrendered, which he does here. Give me a lightsaber, and we're going to kill him once and for all. The other Jedi go, well, I wouldn't do that. He's surrendering. It's all good. So this Jedi Master kills her, takes the lightsaber, and goes to kill Vader, but Vader throws something through his chest, and he ends up dying. Vader continues to fight the Jedi one-handed with the blade until the clone troopers come in. Vader had gone there alone. These clone troopers have come to basically take him back to Palpatine. Palpatine wants him back on Coruscant. With all the Jedi wiped out, Vader goes back to Coruscant, gets admonished for disobeying Palpatine. Palpatine never wanted him to go to Kessel in the first place. And that is basically the end of it, where Palpatine is like, have some patience, there's a lot we have to do to continue. We move on to Star Wars Purge, Seconds to Die. This has the character of Shar Klun, who is the niece of the Jedi Master Plo Koon. You'll remember Plo Koon from the prequel trilogy and very prominently in the Clone Wars television show. So this is basically about Shar Klun's training, her role in everything. She keeps going to the archives to research lore and things like that. And when Order 66 happens, she manages to escape and get away from the clone troopers. In actual fact, she has been studying the dark side, and she contacts Palpatine and she says, listen, I want to join you. And Palpatine goes, I already have an apprentice in Darth Vader. And, well, he's not Darth Vader at the moment. And she goes, well, if I kill Darth Vader, I think it is Darth Vader. If I kill Darth Vader, can I be your apprentice? And the Emperor's like, sure, why not? And so she lures Darth Vader down into the tunnels, the lower levels of Coruscant, where they fight. And Vader ultimately ends up killing her. But in her last moments, she sees the future. She sees Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, 3PO, R2-D2, and old Obi-Wan Kenobi. She basically sees the fall of the Empire. And when Vader goes back to Palpatine, Palpatine says, did she die with despair in her eyes? And Vader says, no, Master, she died with hope. That was a really cool twist, really cool story. And that leads us into, I believe, Star Wars Purge, The Hidden Blade, which we will get to momentarily. So we have Star Wars Purge, The Hidden Base, which starts out with an attack on this Imperial base where they build walkers. Vader comes in and just starts decimating everybody. The leader of this base, the Imperial leader, tells Vader he's got to stop taking these risks. He's too important to the Empire. The Emperor basically tells Vader, stay there until the walkers are finished. Vader wants to go out Jedi hunting. One of the troopers comes back, like a scout trooper comes back and lets Vader know that they have a Jedi, so Vader decides to go out and hunt the Jedi Knight. He does find a Jedi, they fight. He realizes the Jedi is just a Padawan, and that the Padawan's main job is to distract Vader while his master can get away. Vader ends up killing the Padawan, but comes under attack by the rebels. This giant monster comes up. Vader realizes that the flesh of this creature cannot be hurt by lightsabers, so has to find another way to defeat it, which he does. And then he comes across presumably the Jedi Master, but Vader realizes he isn't actually a Jedi. They fight. Vader ends up killing him, but the whole thing was a ruse so that the people on this planet could attack this Imperial Walker base and destroy it. Palpatine, of course, being pissed off with this, leaves Vader on the planet to basically ruminate on his actions here and how they've set back the Empire. Pretty good issue, if I do say so myself. We are going to leave it there for part one of Star Wars, The Empire, Volume 1. And in Part 2, we'll start up with Star Wars Purge, The Tyrant's Fist. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please, by all means, like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all of that good stuff. Tell your friends about the channel. Every subscription, every like helps us with the YouTube algorithm, of course. We have more stuff coming down the line, so keep your eye out for that. But most importantly, of course, please stay safe. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And most importantly, read a fucking book, people.